You may have felt it before, though rarely allowed the quiet instant when you share a thought, a suggestion, and it is acknowledged politely, then set aside. You see them nod, half smile, and move on, carrying on without your words. It's not that they ignore you exactly, but your input is no longer essential. Somewhere, deep down, you might have sensed this shift coming, subtle as the changing of seasons. It begins in small, everyday moments. Perhaps you sit at the kitchen table, morning sunlight spilling across the countertop, and your son shows you something he's working on. You offer a small, practical suggestion, born from years of experience. And notice the pause, the polite smile, the silent choice to continue his way. No words are needed. The message is unmistakable. You are no longer required in the way you once were. There's a certain quiet in this realization. You notice it in the softening of your voice, in the careful way you phrase things, almost to avoid imposing. You notice it in your own stillness, hands resting lightly on the edge of the table as you watch them navigate life independently. There is pride in seeing them stand tall, and a gentle ache in remembering all the times they leaned on you, sought your guidance, needed your counsel. You recall evenings long past, perhaps a holiday or a casual weekend meal where your words carried weight and your advice was sought. They listened, asked questions, valued your input. Now, those moments are memories, fading. And in their absence, a subtle truth emerges. The trust you once held has quietly moved. It isn't loss or disrespect. It is simply life moving along a different path. You may notice signs leading up to this realization. A career choice, a house, even a simple decision about daily life your advice offered. Politely received, but ultimately not followed. They are learning, making their own decisions, solving their own problems. You, who once guided with certainty, now observe from the side, and in that new role, there is dignity. There's a profound beauty in that dignity. To watch them take steps forward without your direction is both sorrowful and deeply satisfying. You see your son make a misstep, then correct it on his own. You see your daughter wrestle with a challenge, find her own solution without your intervention. Pride and quiet ache sit together. Your guidance is no longer voiced, yet its influence is present, quietly woven into their character. You might think back to your own experience. Perhaps your father, or an early mentor, withdrew guidance at the right time, letting you navigate life's challenges alone. You may have resisted, frustrated at first, wishing for their direction. But over time, you recognized the value of stepping into your own authority. And now, watching your children, you see that cycle reflected. You are both a participant and an observer. There is a small, intimate moment that captures this perfectly. A Sunday afternoon, children at the table with papers, laptops, or simply talking. You glance at them and notice the independence, the way they confer with one another. Weigh options, move forward without consulting you. You sit back, quietly, perhaps sipping a cup of tea, and watch. No resentment, no longing for control, just recognition of a subtle truth. Your lessons have taken root. You remember times you tried to step in, suggestion, a piece of advice offered, met with polite resistance. It may have stung more than you expected, leading you to quietly retreat into observation. From that space, you begin to understand the subtle shift in your role. You are no longer the navigator. You are the lighthouse present, steady, guiding in essence, not in command. In this quiet observation, a deeper understanding emerges. Value is not measured by how often you are called upon. Influence persists, even when unspoken. Dignity is found in stepping back, allowing the ones you raised to meet the world fully, independently. In this understanding, there is a gentle peace. Consider a story that lingers in your mind. Perhaps last year, your son faced a challenge at work, a complex problem. You were tempted to step in to give advice, yet you hesitated. You watched him struggle, unsure, then resolve it on his own. Later, he called not for instruction, but to share his success. In that moment, your heart swelled quietly pride and the profound understanding that he had become his own man. There is your daughter, too. Maybe she faced a decision about moving, a career choice, or a personal challenge. You sensed she didn't need guidance and held back. Days later, you learned how she had considered her options, made mistakes, adapted, and arrived at her own resolution. Pride and quiet ache mingled again. Your influence had worked itself into her life, no longer requiring speech. You may reflect on how the world subtly shifts around you. Conversations are different, decisions are made independently. Yet the weight of your presence remains not in command, not in control, but in the unseen framework of lessons, principles, and values you quietly imparted. It is a silent inheritance, unnoticed at times, but profoundly real. Perhaps this is life's most human truth. Being needed as you once were does not define your worth. Your wisdom, influence, and guidance continue, even when no longer called upon. They transform into a quiet, enduring presence, embedded in the people you raised. To observe this calmly, quietly, is an honor in itself. Imagine yourself, late afternoon, cup of tea in hand, sunlight soft on the walls. You watch them live the lives you helped shape, no longer dependent on your voice. A lifetime of quiet work shows itself now in the subtle strength of who they are. Your presence has shifted from essential to invisible, yet deeply impactful. It is a testament to the lasting power of calm guidance and quiet authority. And in this reflection, you allow yourself a gentle moment of understanding. No acknowledgement is needed, no words required. You simply sit, breathe, and observe. The day your children stopped needing your advice was not a loss. It is proof that your influence worked. Your presence, your guidance, your quiet authority lives on silently, powerfully, entirely. And in that quiet recognition, you feel fully seen.